All right, so I'm conflicted here, and I need your help. So I normally put together a little presentation, and I talk about the 3 M's of success. I'm going to do that, but I've been absorbing how their presentations are going so far. And I have kind of 2 presentations, so I need your help. First presentation I've done 1,000 times, and you'll get some nuggets from it, and we can go on our merry way. But the second presentation, I've been back here kind of making some changes. And the second presentation, let me just be really transparent here with you. I have never showed anybody. Wait. It's borderline offensive. It is dangerous, but it is the dog-eat-dog real what it takes for having the success and the mindset for success to be an entrepreneur. So, I think I already know. I have the presentation loaded right now, but if you need me to change it, I will. So a show of hands, who wants the boring presentation? Who wants the one that's borderline offensive? Okay, fantastic. Here we go, lesson 1. Right here in Harvard, formal education means nothing. See you later. Yeah, right? Let me tell you something. I'm going to qualify that statement, okay? Because the lesson 2 is this. Specialized knowledge, that means everything, period. Everything, period. Let me ask you a question. Who is more successful, the general practice attorney or the specialized attorney? Who is more successful, the specialized doctor or the general doctor? Specialized, right? Flipped it around on you that way. Specialized knowledge means absolutely everything. You can be a master of whatever it is that you want. You can focus on that. Or you can be a jack of all trades, learn a lot about a lot of things, and really not make much difference in the world. And so I'm a fan of education. However, I will tell you that I have friends that went to fantastic Ivy League colleges, and they don't have what they would even consider success, much less what other people would say is successful. Some of them actually work as waiters. And it's interesting to me because you take a lot of time, money, and energy to devote and put it into learning things and education. The challenge is that you become usually really, really good at like answering all the questions for Jeopardy, right? But when you get out in the dog-eat-dog world, you know what really happens is that doesn't really matter. What really matters is the bigger part of coming to a university like this is your network. How many people agree with that? Look at all the hands. Keep them up. All the hands in the room. Everyone has their hand up. And you're here in Harvard, one of the most prestigious, incredible colleges in the country. And I just sat here and borderline offended you, and no one's throwing anything at me, so I feel like I'm okay right now. So, okay, good. I'm okay. There's a tomato coming? Okay. But it is the truth. It is the absolute truth, okay? My name's Cory Boatright. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you a few things that had success in my life, just brief on that, but I want to talk to you about the 3M success formula that I think you're going to really get a lot from. But just so you know, I didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday. CNN, NBC, a lot of companies have interviewed me. They have talked to me about internet marketing. I've done consulting with several Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies. Wall Street Journal was one of them that you heard, did a interview with me when I grew up one of my businesses. Grew it up in my bedroom. Took me about 4 years, grew it up to $4 million, and I sold it, and that was before the age of 25. It's pretty cool. Fast Company did a social media influence project, and out of 30,000 plus applicants, I was number 4, beating out, I think, Justin Bieber and Britney Spears. Justin, Britney, love you. And I also wrote a bestseller on Amazon, and what was cool about it is it went bestseller the first day, and it's called Recession Riches. So I'm sharing just some of these things with you because I want you to just get a little idea of where I'm coming from, okay? I went and spent some time out of Oklahoma, which is where I'm from. I'll tell you that story in just a second. But that's me there in Chicoteri, Italy. How many people have been there? One person? Amazing, isn't it?
It's nice, yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I went skydiving. How many people skydive? Yeah? Okay. You know what's interesting about skydiving is that the synapses in your brain work differently now how you think about everything. So that gives you another reason, all you Ks out there, you green guys, green women, that if you're just thinking like, oh, it's just fearful, no, you'll think about things in your life completely different because you overcome death. Your mind is telling you, right, Will? Your mind is telling you that this is death. And you take a step out, right when the door opens, you take the step out and there's no coming back. You just made this decision that, you know what, I potentially can die right now and I'm okay with it. And your mind thinks differently about everything else. Everything else is dwarfed because you just overcame death. Interesting. Went to the 16th chapel. I used to think that was called the 16th, but it's 16th chapel. That little Oklahoma thing for you. 16th chapel. So I had 16th chapel. That was amazing. Absolutely one of the most incredible things. There in Deer Abbey, went and traveled there. Went to Pompeii. How many people have been to Pompeii? World traveler over here. Neil? Incredible. Wow. To see civilization and see this technology that was, right around BC times is unreal. The catacombs in London, where the bodies were buried, you can actually see the skulls still. And lastly, or almost lastly here, I went over to Indonesia. I went over to actually Thailand in this picture, and got a chance to walk tigers. Let me tell you, a tiger walks you. You do not walk a tiger. Hi, girl. This last one here I think is one of the most exciting for me. How many people know where that is? Hong Kong. Where? The Peak. The Peak. The Peak in Hong Kong. Now let me tell you why this is significant. The reason this is significant because I'm from Oklahoma. I'm from Oklahoma. And this moment right here is when I look over the peak in Hong Kong where you can see the whole city, just everything right there in front of you. And it literally feels like, oh my gosh, like it really happened. Like I just had enough belief and I put some effort behind it, took action, and it really happened, right? This Oklahoma boy, it was pretty powerful. So I am from Oklahoma, a little town called Weatherford. About 15,000 people in this town. This is the hard part. I know it's going to be a hard part. This is my dad and my mom. I told you I haven't. I'm just being transparent with you, and I need your love, so just give it to me. My mom and dad, they got married, and they had 3 boys, and I was the youngest of the 3. My brother is Dusty. He's the oldest, and he's the athlete of the family. Everything is just athletic. My other brother, Brandon, second oldest, he's the mechanic. He can take apart an engine, put it back together. Pretty amazing. And I turned out to be the musician entrepreneur. And that's a picture of my mom. So beautiful, isn't she? And my dad. Well, my dad, he passed away when I was 19 months old. And that was one of the only pictures I have with he and I together, really together, him holding me. And he died one day before his birthday in an airplane crash. You know, and I often wonder what it would be like, some of you that have fathers growing up, what it would have been like to have that. But I didn't. And so I made a lot of choices that may not have been the best ones. But I will tell you that at the end of the day, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. How many people know that? Yeah. So most of my friends and colleagues and people growing up in this little town of Weatherford, most of what I would consider a peer group, they all went to prison or boys' homes. I was voted in school because I was missing so many days of school. Wasn't that I wasn't a bright kid or couldn't pick up things quick or apply myself, even though I used to have massive arguments with my teachers. One time I used to think that history who cared about something that happened 20 years ago? I used to have these big arguments about history. It didn't even mean anything. Now I love history. Now I can watch History Channel forever. But anyway, so those are my colleagues, my peers. Most of them, they went to prison. Even though I had 3 older brothers, and God love them, fantastic in their own right, done a lot of powerful things in their life, and I respect them in each their own in a lot of different ways. How many people know growing up when you're like maybe 8 and somebody's like maybe 15, 13, that you don't really want to hang out with the 8 or 9-year-old, right? So I actually got a big brother. I had to go and get a big brother. And that's Dave Storm right there. And that's me. And he made a big difference in my life. But even with the big brother, that big brother-sister program, even with the big brother, I still was making a lot of mistakes. Making a lot of mistakes. And what happened is, who said the PhD is, what was it, the public high school diploma? Well, I got a GED, which is a good enough diploma. Or in Oklahoma, a get her done. We can come up with some other acronyms. But I dropped out of high school when I was my junior year. And making a lot of bad decisions. But I just felt like at that time my perspective, my chapter in life was that I didn't really need school. I'm going to go to school to learn to work for somebody else, and I'm going to go do my own thing now. I don't need anybody else. I was a very me-istic and myopic type person. And it really made a big impact in my life. What happened was when things started to change is I started to learn how to play guitar. And that's me. Had hair all the way down to here, into the 80s bands, rock bands, Nelson back there, Nelson twin. You know, and so I got into playing guitar, and lo and behold, I joined a Christian heavy metal band. And I got around some people that really said that, you know what, you can do more than what you think. You don't have to end up in prison, in jail, in boys' homes. And we think you're really cool, and we think you can do some cool things, and we want to do it, work with you. So I want you, if you're taking some notes, I don't know if you are, but if you are, I want you to take notes on this because this is pretty powerful. You are the 5, right? You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. How many people believe that? It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. If you're hanging out with losers right now, you're hanging out with people that are pulling you down, and you know you need to get away from. Maybe there's kind of friends here and there. You will be the average. It's fine. You make the decision to hang out with them, but you will be the average of those 5 people that you hang out with. That is a 100% truth. So, along the way, I read a little book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. How many people read the book? You know, I'm out of high school now. I got to go do something. I start reading books, learning how to play guitar by myself, doing all these things. So I started all these different companies. Let me tell you something. 9 out of 10 businesses failed. That's what Rich Dad, Poor Dad said, okay? So I had this brilliant idea, being pretty good at math. I started 40 different businesses. Because what are my odds there, right? I mean, 1, right? I mean, I'm going to get one of them, right? So what happened was 2 of them succeeded. The other 38 I call business therapy. So what I want to talk to you about here, and thank you for letting me share my story, is how many people would like to know a smarter way than starting 40 different businesses? Yeah? All right, so this is called the 3 M's for success. And it's very powerful. These are the things I've learned along the way. These are the things that I want to share with you that are the most powerful I can get across to you in a 30-minute period. How are we doing on time, by the way? Fantastic? Good. Okay. First thing is mindset. Mindset, okay? Why is mindset so important? Well, the reason mindset is so important is because you have to first understand that whatever you're going to do, there's going to be many obstacles that come up along the way. Right, Sherry? Right. A lot of obstacles along the way. And you've got to know that when they do, that your mind has got to be prepared to be able to handle them. So you've got to be able to get this mindset thing correct. I know it sounds hokey pokey sometimes, but whenever I do some consulting with someone and they pay me, $1,000 for doing this 1 or 2 things, spend 1 or 2 hours with me, 70% of the time it's a mindset thing. It's 30% of the time it's something else. 70% of the time it's mindset. What you got to realize is that there's these constraints that we ourselves put up. They aren't really there. What are they called, Will? The big lie. The big lie. Because that's what they are. Our mind tells us a ton of lies. Because what makes you so special? What makes you so special? Why do you think you can succeed? Look where you're from. You're from a little town in Oklahoma. You can't succeed. Hell, all your buddies, they live for Friday. To go out and drink beer. Get fat. Don't care about their bodies. You can't be successful. What are you thinking? Your mind is telling you these things. And guess what happens whenever you're like, oh yeah? Yeah, you're listening. You got to be careful because you are listening. Does that make sense? You are listening. You got to be like a mouse, right? Hard-headed. You got to be a mouse. You got to be excited to be able to go in there and get the cheese, right? I want to be this mouse so bad. Except I would probably, for the 40, but I probably had like pads and shoulders on there too, but he's got the helmet, it's good. You got to be the mouse. Yeah, you got to be the mouse. You got to get in there and go for it. See, what really matters are the things sometimes that we don't realize that matter. What really counts are the things that we can't count, right? How do I know what you're really thinking right now? I can't count that. I don't put a metric to that right now. But guess what? That's what really matters. That's the things that count in life. The mindset of where you are. That you can succeed, that you will succeed, that you're going to be the mouse, and you're going to be a little hard-headed, and you're going to get the cheese. So, even though I got a GED, dropped out of high school, I was pretty good at math. So I'll play a little game here in Harvard. So imagine the alphabet, okay? Imagine every letter represents a number. A is 1, B is, C is, okay, all right, yeah, all right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to equal 100. Okay, we're going to try to equal 100. And we're going to do it in an entrepreneurial way. Entrepreneurial way. So many times people think one of the biggest challenges of being an entrepreneur is what? Name some things out.
Capital.
What is it?
Capital.
Capital. What else?
Sales.
Sales. What else? Marketing. What else? Time. One more. What? What happens is this. What equals 100% is not what we think it is. Fear is one of the big ones. Fear is one of the big ones. We think that if we just overcome a fear, if I go skydiving and I jump out of the airplane, then I'll be okay. I'll just get through it, I'll be fine. But fear only equals 30%. Courage, right? Some people are just kind of wimpy. Need to get a little courage. Not be a little cat, but be the big lion. Well, courage only equals 70%. Hard work. Hard work. You got to put in the time, effort for the work. Not necessarily work smarter, we don't hear, but we hear to work harder, right? Industrial age, that's what they learned, that's what they teach us. It's not the case, it's only 90%. Knowledge, right? How many people just say knowledge is power, right? But guess what? Knowledge is not quite there either, is it? Love. Oh. Love is very, very powerful. But as an entrepreneur, it's not 100%. Unfortunately, I can love you all to death, and you can still screw me. As an entrepreneur, it's not 100%. Luck. You just got lucky. Remember Phil Sane was saying that, Mark Zuckerberg just got lucky. Well, he did. He got a little bit lucky, but that wasn't all it took. So what makes 100%? Someone yelled it out, and I didn't you, so smart. It's not money, and it's not leadership. But what makes 100% is attitude. But it's a trick question, Anil. It's a trick question because it's almost everything. Do you know what happens before attitude? Discipline. Discipline equals 100%. You have to have discipline in order to have that positive attitude come out. It begins with discipline. The reason not everyone's going to be able to do it is because they're not disciplined enough. But you can be. You can be. You can put in a little extra time or effort. You can talk to somebody else. You can knock another door. You can make another phone call. You can get into another network, another mastermind. You can do what it takes. You can be the one that's up working when everybody else is sleeping. You can do it because it takes discipline. And then from there, the attitude happens. Let me tell you something. Whenever you get this mindset thing rocking and rolling, you'll find that prayer is a place that you go for the solitude. You start really thinking about what matters, the things that count, things that you can't really count, but those are the things that really do count. It's kind of interesting to share this. Whenever you pray, what does that look like to you? What number? 1. 1. You know why? Because there's a part of you that we abandon. We don't like to think about ourselves. We think we're selfish and all those other things. And I'll tell you what, once you figure out what it is inside of you that gives you the abilities, the strength, the greatness that I believe God instills in every single person, once you figure that out, then you can serve others in the massive way, the best way possible. Because you spent some time working on yourself. You can overcome fear by discovering your success. It's absolutely 100% true. The second M is mechanics. Second M is mechanics. Most entrepreneurs, they're just crazy, really, because they're self-employed and they call themselves business owners, but really, they're not. They're not. They're crazy because why? They work for themselves, right? They look like this guy. And that's not a boss that I want to have, but even though that's what all of us look like when we work for ourselves. FedEx. Think about this. FedEx is not one big business. It's small businesses duplicated. There's no such thing as a big business any longer. It's small businesses duplicated. It's not one Wingnuts. It's 50, 100, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. And then it just spreads all over the place because it's one little Wingnuts that works, one little FedEx truck that works, and then you can go out and duplicate what's working. Right? It's not you have to get this one huge business. It is you have to get your mechanics in order. The first one's mindset. The second one's mechanics. Think about a watch. Think about the gears of a watch. Everything has got to be working to get that right. Operating procedures. Think about synergy and masterminds. What Michael Jordan says. You know, it's awesome. He can be the greatest player in the world, but that's not what wins games. What wins games?
Teamwork and intelligence.
Teamwork and intelligence wins games. That's being a mastermind. That is a synergy. That's thinking and knowing what you can leverage, what you can give, and you can help others. And that's how you serve others, by creating that synergy and having a mastermind. How can we do it together? Think about the difference that just one makes. Just one. Look at the difference, the vast difference. 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 8, but just one. And this mindset right here, this on this side right here, that's a self-employed business owner right here. This is the guy thinking about just himself, and he doesn't care about anybody else, and he doesn't care about anything he's going to really impact he's going to make for the world. This guy thinks about synergy and mastermind. He thinks about how he can serve others. He thinks about outside of himself. He wants to give and help, and that's the most important thing to him. And look at what one difference makes. Just one. So this powerful idea of mechanics is something that has really made a huge difference. Think big. Really, when you're being a self-employed business owner, got 1 minute? Think big. You as a self-employed business owner, you think a little small. Think a little bit bigger. How can you serve others? How can you help others? How can you get those procedures going, not just make one wing nuts and have a good day? How can you make 5,000 and have other people run them for you? Have other people that like-minded for you that can go and spread the world, spread everything about the story and the vision. And the last M, what do you think? It's money. The last M is money. The reason is because being rich, it really isn't about just loving money, but it really is having time. Having time. This study is very interesting to me. The person that puts the emphasis on, oh, you know, my time is worth so much money. It's only worth $1,000 or $2,000 an hour or $5,000 an hour. That person, from a recent study that was done, it's shown that they have less happiness in their lives. So the reason that I have these 3 M's of success in this order, mindset, mechanics, and money, is not by accident. Okay? It is because whenever you chase money, money runs. It runs fast. But I tell you what, whenever you find other people in masterminds, whenever you find ways that you can create synergy and you can serve others, which I believe is one of the core components, one of the most incredible ways to have fulfillment in your life is by serving others. Whenever you do that, you attract money into your life. Money comes looking for you. So, all the smart people in the room, what's the first M? What's the second M? Mechanics. And what's the third one? Money. In that order. I'll share this last thing with you. Ever since I was 21 years old, I have a little bucket list I've made. And one of them was to speak at Harvard. And I really... I sincerely appreciate taking the time. I do believe it's very valuable. I appreciate, Mark, you have me. And, you know, the follow-up, a CEO billionaire is not a bad day either, is it? Yeah. So remember and be a servant. That is one of the most powerful things that I can leave with you, to let you internalize that, is to remember and serve others. In the shower, I say this when I get up in the morning: my worst day is somebody else's paradise. Thank you very much.